Waiting for a miracle. Waiting for a miracle. That's what I want to talk about today. I'm talking about waiting for a miracle. When I say that, what I'm saying is the miracle is going to come, but sometimes you got to wait on it. And the thing about it is, when you wait on a miracle, you should be waiting on a miracle with anticipation that it's going to happen. Sometimes when people wait on a miracle and it's going to happen when they think it's going to happen, they give up hope. You have to realize that when God promised you something, He's going to perform it. The Bible says He's not a man that lies, the Son of Man that He should repent. When God promised you something, all you have to do is, this is what you need to do is, when God promised you something, get into a worship and a praise mode. And when you get into the worship and praise mode, what happens is you're really not thinking about the miracle. What you're doing is you're thanking God for the miracle. Because the miracle is going to happen. When God says something's going to happen, it's a done deal. And you have to realize this is what happened is what you have to do is you have to get into a spiritual mindset. Once you get into a spiritual mindset, you won't allow nothing outside of that to affect your miracle. And I want to teach today about waiting on a miracle. And this is what happened is, a lot of times people get in a situation and it be so hard, and what happens is it be so hard, it be so devastating, they just give up. But when you give up, what happens is you forfeit your miracle. Never give up. As long as you're on this earth, never give up. Because what happens is when you give up, you forfeit your miracle. And this is what happens. When you forfeit your miracle, somebody else will get it. Can I preach it? So I want to talk about waiting on a miracle. Go with me to 2 Kings, the 7th chapter. It says sometimes in people's lives, things get hard that a miracle is out of the question because of their belief system. Because of their belief system. This is something you got to realize. Your belief system has to believe that you're going to believe that you're going to get a miracle. You have to change your belief system. And so you have to realize when we're born in the world, the Bible says we're born in this world, we're born into sin and shaped in iniquity. In other words, we've been trained how to sin. We've been trained how to think a certain way. But what happens is when you get into the kingdom of God, you got to get reprogrammed on how to think. Because what happens is what you think things used to be don't work like that. And you have to realize when you start thinking a different way, you'll go a different way. And see why some people keep going the same way because of their thinking pattern. This is what they say is, I'm going to do a different thing, but what happens is they think the same way. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, woman, boy, girl, so is he. I don't care, listen, I don't care, you say, I'm going to go a different way, but you have to change the way that you think. If you don't change the way you think, you won't do that. It's just like me. I'm using me for instance. I say I'm going to lose some of this stomach. Alright? So what I'm saying is I got to quit eating ice cream. I love ice cream. So what I do is every time I go into the store, the ice cream say, come here. I say, okay, here I go. And every time I say I don't eat it, I'm going to show you something. Every time I go out, I eat the whole thing. You ain't got to tell it, I tell it myself. I eat the whole thing. And when I eat the whole thing, I feel guilty. I feel guilty. I'm talking about me, so I ain't talking about, but what happens is I can't lose weight by eating ice cream. You know, that's just being crazy. So what happened is I got to think now, like yesterday, I wanted some ice cream yesterday. But I walked by yesterday and I said, see ya. As long as I get out of the store, I'm good. Amen. So the same way, you know, in order to change things in your life, you got to change the way you think. And you got to realize, you know, and I'm going to show you something. Now, when I start eating ice cream, I buy 2 gallons at a time. I buy one for my wife and one for me. And I eat both of them. But see, I'm fooling myself thinking she eats some, don't get me wrong. But the thing about it is, I eat more than she do. Because when I get tired of it, when I get through with mine, I start on her. But I mean, that's just the way it is, you see what I'm saying? But in other words, for me to really lose some weight or to lose this stomach, I got to quit eating certain things. You know, I just got to be honest. So what happens is, I got to change the way I think. Once you change the way you think, different things will happen. Different things will happen. So what happened, when we talk about waiting on the miracle, are you there, 2 Kings 7? Are you there? Look what it said. Then Elisha said, ye heard the word of the Lord. Thus said the Lord, tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gates of Samaria. Then a Lord on whose hand the king leaned answered the man of God and said, behold, if the Lord would not listen, if the Lord would make a wonder in heaven, might this thing be? And he said, behold, thou shalt see it with thy eyes, and shalt not eat thereof. Remember that verse right there, because I'm going to show you something. Remember that verse right there. This is what this man is saying is, the man of God said, look here, tomorrow, things going to change. But this particular guy here said, if the Lord opened up the windows of heaven and poured out, he said, it ain't going to happen. So in other words, what he's doing is, he's contradicting what the man of God is saying. See, a lot of times people contradict what the Lord is saying, because what happens of their thinking pattern, of their thinking system. And what happens is they keep going in the same circle, keep doing the same thing, and don't nothing change. And then when don't nothing change, they get mad and they blame the devil. Let me tell you one thing. The devil cannot make you do anything. When you say the devil made you do that, you lied on the devil. He has no authority over your life. You're a free will person. You can go and please and do what you want to do. So the devil really don't have any authority over you. What happened is the devil can influence you, but he can't make you do anything. And see what happened is people say, well, the devil ain't made you do nothing. You wanted to do that. I wanted to do what I wanted to eat that ice cream. The devil didn't make me do that. Because I like ice cream. The Bible says the lust of the flesh and the lust of the flesh and the pride of life. You have to realize I just love ice cream. But ice cream don't love me sometimes. You see what I'm saying? So when I start eating this ice cream, what it does is push me out this way. So then when I say, well, I got to lose weight, then sometimes I try to put my clothes on, and I got to do the hug. And then I walk around. I'm being real. But what happened is you got to realize I had to change some things. Here we go. Let me teach. Let me see. For there were 4 leprous men at the end of the gate, and they said one to another, why sit we here until we die? Let me see. If we say we will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city, we shall die there, and if we sit here, we will die also. Now therefore come, let us fall into the hands of the Syrians. If they save us alive, we shall live, and if they kill us, we shall but die. Look what they're saying. The option I got here, I'm going to die either way. But let me show you something. They're hungry. One thing about hunger makes you change your perspective in life. Hunger makes you change your perspective. And a lot of times when people get hungry, they do things that they should do, and then they do things that they should do. The Bible says, he that hunger and thirsts after righteousness shall be what? Filled. So what happens is when you get hungry for the things of God, you fill yourself with the word. You fill yourself with righteousness. You fill yourself with holiness because you get hungry for the things of God. People that are hungry for the things of God, they don't care. They'll play that game, they'll play that religious game, but what happens is they're going to fill up. Because what happens is they're not really hungry. They might be saying they're hungry, but spiritually they're not hungry. Listen, the spirit man is on the inside is starving, because what happens is they're neglecting to feed the spirit man, which takes the spirit food. Can I teach? So in other words, right here, let me go from the beginning. Elisha was a man of God. Now Elisha was a protege of Elijah. Now at this particular time, you had to realize Elisha, what he did, before he became a prophet, what he did, Elisha had a job in the field plowing oxen. And the man of God walked by him, and when he walked by him, he threw his mantle on him. He said, whoa, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm here plowing these oxen with my family. Yeah, I'm making money. But what happened is, he showed me something different. In other words, when he threw that mantle on me, I really found out what I'm doing really ain't really what God called me to do. See, sometimes we do stuff that God didn't call us to do. You might be profitable in, but it ain't what God called you to do. And see, it's something you have to realize, but you have to realize the end part of it is you wasted time. Because the Bible said that the way that seemeth right unto a man or woman, boy or girl, but the end of it. See, the end part is death. The end part is you really don't profit. The end part that you don't waste your time. The end part that you really lose, what you thought you gained, you really lost because you did something that God didn't call you to do. Can I teach you? So what happened is Elijah began to follow the man of God. Now what he did is, he said, hold it, man. He said, hold it. This man threw the man on me. He said, hold it. He said, listen here. You showed me something I never done before. He said, I'm going to follow you. He said, no, son, go on back. He said, no. I'm going to follow you because you got something that I never had. You showed me a new way of doing things. In other words, you really, what you're doing, you showed me that what I'm doing is really what God called me to do. But let me show you what he did. What he done is, he said, hold on a minute. I'm going to show you how Elijah got the way he was. What he did is, he went back home and cut up all his oxen and all what he did. In other words, he destroyed everything that was making his livelihood. In other words, he didn't have no job there, so he had to follow Elijah. He got rid of the oxen, he got rid of the cow, or whatever he had, he got rid of it. So in other words, he didn't have a job. So what he did is he began to follow him. When he followed Elijah, Elijah began to show him some new things. This is why you had to realize that if you just wait on your miracle, but what you have to do in your waiting, what you need to do, you need to see where you're going. Because if you don't see where you're going, you don't know where you're going. So what happened is he followed Elijah. And Elijah, what he done is begin to do great things. But this is what he said. And Elisha, the man we talk about now, he said, I want a double portion of what you got. Now that sounds covetous to me. It really does. It sounds covetous. He wanted something that somebody else had. But look what he said. He said, I don't want what you got. I want another portion for myself. I want to have more than you got. Now let me show you something that's in life. You as parents, me as parents, as a pastor, even in the church, even on the job, people that are under you, if they grow, you ought to be glad. Your child, if your child do more than you do, you ought to be glad. Because what happens is what you're doing is you're teaching them a better way. And what happens is when they get a double portion, not only when they get a double portion, they can do more. Check Jesus out. Jesus told his disciples, said, look here. He said, I go away to prepare a place for you. Now what he's saying is, greater work shall you do. Jesus did a lot of miracles, but let me tell you something. The disciples did more than he did. He didn't sit on the throne and get mad. He was glad. The reason why, because he taught them. That's right. See, never get upset when somebody, especially somebody that's in your family or your child, never get upset because they're growing. You ought to be glad, because your job is to teach them to grow. Your job is to teach them to go to another level. Your job is to teach them to excel, not go down. You should tell them that, well, you're right, no good. You shouldn't do that. But you should excel them. You should push them. You should exalt them to do the things of God. Because what happens, you have to realize when you get old. Help me, Holy Ghost. That same child might be able to take care of you, That same child you might have to lean on. That same child might have to wipe your hand in. That same child might have to feed you. But what happens, what you're doing is you're producing, listen, you're producing a child that's going to grow higher in the Lord and do greater things. I'm glad my children do more than I am. I'm glad they got more education than I am. I'm really glad, because you know why? They can take care of themselves. Can I preach y'all? So what happened is Elijah, make a long story short, when he went away, and what happened, he said, when you see me go away. Now Elijah, God took him, he didn't take him by death. He said, when you see me go away, he said, grab the mantle. And when he grabbed the mantle, he put the mantle on, the Bible said he began to do miracles. Let me tell you what happened. Elijah did 16 miracles. 16, right? Can y'all add? Can you multiply? Elijah did 32. That means he did 16 more than his protege. So that's a double portion. That's what he asked for. Now what happened is now he's walking in his destiny. Now let me show you something. This particular scripture here, chapter 6. Now Elijah, I don't be long, y'all just be with me. Chapter 6, verse 8. Elijah was doing this thing. But what happened is the king of Syria wanted to war against Israel. They wanted to go war. They want to go war against Israel. So what happened is, this is what happened. And the man, listen, verse 9, and the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, beware that thou passest not such a place, for neither the Syrians are coming down. What he's saying is, be careful where you're going, because what happened is there's an ambush. He said, listen, don't go this way. Don't go down Main Street this time, because there's an ambush. Don't go down Main Street, there's an ambush. And what he did is, what the other king of Syria said, he got upset because when he went there, the king of Israel wasn't there. So he got mad. The Bible said he really got mad. He said, What happened? He said, what's going on? I'm going to get them guys. I had an ambush. Who around me is a traitor? But one of the servants said, hold it, king. He said, ain't that. He said, no. He said, we all with you. But there's a man of God named Elijah. God speaks to him. He even know what you're seeing in your bedroom. Let me tell you something. The Lord sometimes let me hear people's conversation. I'm not saying I'm Elisha, but God lets me hear people's conversation. Years ago, I heard a conversation between a mother, a grandmother, and a daughter. They were sitting at the table, and they were talking about me and my family. I heard the conversation. Just so clear. They were talking junk about us. They was. But what it was, the reason why they were talking junk about us, because they had jealousy in their heart. We hadn't done anything to them. We hadn't done anything wrong. But I heard the conversation. Just as clear. Just like I'm talking to you now. The Lord let me hear the conversation. And this particular time, we hadn't done anything to these folks. But help them. If there was a need, if they needed to do something, that needed some work done, we done it. But the Lord let me hear that conversation. And I laughed at it. And I held it for years. And one time I preached one time, and they heard me preach, and I spoke about it, but I just called a name, and they looked at one another. But see, God will let you hear some things sometimes. The Bible said there's nothing covered that won't be revealed. So what happens, a lot of times God lets you hear some stuff, but you don't say nothing. And the reason why I don't say nothing sometimes because God hadn't told me to release it. What he's doing is he's just preparing me. Not necessarily the person, he's preparing me. Because sometimes people want to ambush you. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. Some people trying to ambush you. Some people want to belittle you. Some people want to destroy you. Can I preach y'all? So what happened is, what he did is, what happened when the man of God told the king what happened is he went the other way. The other king got mad. He said, well, where is he at? Where is this guy at? I want him. I'm going to send his squad out to that man because number one, I want him bad, I want him now, I want him destroyed right now. And they tell him, well, he's in a place called Dothan. He's in Dothan. Let me tell you something. The Bible says, tell me about Lord, neither do my prophet no harm. You have to be careful. You have to be careful about people that God called. And sometimes they don't have to be a prophet. They don't have to be all that. But just to be called by God. You have to be careful. And what happened is, they said, he in Dothan. Now let me show you something. He sent a hit squad out for him. Wait for a miracle. I ain't got that yet. I'm just doing a prelude. Look here. He sent a hit squad out. Now when he went the hit squad out, they went to Dothan to find him. And Elijah, where they told him and the elders said that, and I'm breaking it down so we can understand it. They sitting at home chilling, drinking a little coffee. Sitting at home drinking a little coffee. He said, listen, he said, okay. He said, oh, okay. He said, here comes somebody. He said, this is what you do. Go to the door and hold them there. Don't let them come in. Just hold them there. He said, don't let them come in. So what he did is, and the guy that was with Elijah, they got scared. Because what happened was, he thought they were going to kill them. But Elijah said, hold it. He said, son, let me show you something. He began to pray. The Bible said he went to pray. He said, Lord, show. He said, open up his eyes that he can see there's more of us than it is them. Let me tell you something. Sometimes there's some anointing around you, some angels around you don't even know. You don't even know. And I'm going to show you the scripture. Look what it says. Go down to the 6th verse. Go down. Go down to the 6th chapter. Go down to verse 16. Now go down to verse 15. And when the man of God was rise early and gone forth, behold, and hosts compassed the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said, alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, fear not, for they be with us are more than they that be with them. Let me show you something. Verse 17, and Elijah prayed and said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened his eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So what happened was, what the young man saw was only Elisha, but he didn't see what's behind Elisha. He didn't see the chariot of fire behind Elisha. He didn't see the army of the Lord behind Elisha. So what happened is the Lord said, open up his eyes. This is what he was saying. Open up his spirit so he can see. He had eyes, but he couldn't see. Because what he was doing, he was looking at the natural. See, this is what happens a lot of times. We got to quit looking at things in the natural. He said, open up his eyes so he can see. What he was saying is, open up his spirit and let him see what's behind us. In other words, there's more of us than it is them. Yeah, it was two people, it's me and you, but it's more behind us than what you see there. Yeah, there's chariots, there's horses, they round about us. Yeah, that look like they think they got us, but what happened? We got more than they have. Can I teach you this thing? Amen. So what God was saying, look what he said. Look what he said. And Elijah said to them, this is not the way. Listen, let me show you something. What Elijah did, when they came in the house to get him, Elijah prayed the prayer and said, Lord, smite them with blindness. Smite them with blindness. In other words, the hitman, when they came to get Elisha, the Lord smite them with blindness. Now what happened when Elijah told him, he said, look here, I ain't the one. I ain't who you're looking for. I ain't the one. But what happened, he led him to Samaria. I ain't got that yet. Just walk with me. He led him to Samaria. What he done is, they were blind, right? And when he got him to where he go, where they wanted to go, he said, Lord, now open up their eyes so they can see. They began to see. They was in the midst. Let me show you something. They was in the midst of the place that they were trying to conquer. But now they're around them. Let me show you something. Now the king, listen, now the king of Israel asked Elijah, he said, hold it. He said, can I kill him? They come to kill us, or come to kill you, can I kill him? Elijah said, no. He said, no, don't kill him. He said, in other words, would you kill somebody that you didn't capture with a sword or with a bow? The reason why he said that is because when they captured people back then, they made them slaves. They made them work. See, that's why the enemy, a lot of time when they capture you, or capture people in the church sometimes, not in the church, when the enemy capture people, they become a slave to the enemy. Case in point, when people get addicted to drugs, they become a slave to the drug. Alcohol becomes a slave to the alcohol. Some homosexuality get a slave to it. Because it's got them, and they don't have it. But he said, no, we ain't gonna slay him, don't kill him. This is what you do. Let's feed him a good meal. Feed them a good meal and send them back where they came from. So they went back. Now when they went back, the king of Benadad got mad. He said, listen here. I sent you to go get Elijah and you come back fat and sassy. And I don't see no Elijah. He said, this is what we're going to do. Let's get the whole army together. Let's go back. Now the Bible said that he went back and he besieged the city. Now you realize in those days they had walls. They had walls. In Israel, they had walls of Samaria. So what the enemy did, let me show you something. What the enemy did, they got on the outside of the walls. Now let me show you something. The outside of the wall, that means can nobody go in, can nobody come out. Now let me show you something. Now, can nobody go in, nobody come out, there's no food coming in. Can't nobody go out to hunt. Now there's a famine in the land. Waiting for a miracle. Waiting for a miracle. Now they're deceived. Let me show you. Now they're captured by the enemy. Yeah, they're safe, but they're hungry. Now let me show you something. Let me show you something of this right here. Now the king that day, the king of Israel began to walk that day. He was walking the wall. Now the Bible says he was walking the wall, just walking the top of the wall. Now the wall was real high. They're real high. He was walking the wall, and there was a lady down there. She said, "Help! Help me, king! Help! Help me, king!" And the king said, "If the Lord don't help you, what can I do? If the Lord don't help you, what can I do?" And she was troubled. So when she told him, said, "Look here, this is what happened, king." He said, we're so hungry here, we're so starving here, that me and the lady, we made a pact. Good God Almighty. The lady said, listen here, if I boil my child and we eat him today, we'll boil her child and we eat him tomorrow. It's in scripture. So what they done is, the lady boiled the child, both of them ate them. But the next day, they were going to boil her child and she hid it. You see what the enemy make you do? The enemy make you do some stupid stuff when you get hungry. But when you get hungry for the wrong thing. See, when sin comes in, it'll make you do something that's devastating. Can you imagine boiling your child is alive, and you killing your child and boil him, and then y'all turn around and eat him? Let me show you the scriptures. Go to the 28th verse. 6th chapter, 28th verse. I ain't made this up, this is scripture. And the king said, what aileth thee? And she answered, the woman said unto me, give him thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son, and we did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give him thy son, that we may eat him. And she hid her son. You see what happened when the enemy gets you locked in? He gets you locked in, but you think you're safe, but you do some stupid stuff. But the lady tricked the lady. She said, yeah, we eat your son today and we eat mine tomorrow. But she hid hers. Lady that lost her son. Waiting for a miracle. Can I teach? So what happened is, you got to realize, so what happened was, now the king is mad. The king of Israel is mad at Elijah now. The Bible says he rented his clothes. In other words, he put on a sackcloth. Back in those days when people put on old clothes and sackcloth, it was like mourning. He rented his clothes. He got upset. He was upset with Elijah. He was upset with him because he thought Elijah brought the famine. But Elijah didn't bring the famine. Sin brought the famine. Elijah, because Elijah dealt with the other king, he thought that was the reason why the famine come. See, a lot of times we blame other folk for something that we do. And we don't want to take the blame for it, but we want to blame other folk. But what happened was he got mad at Elisha. He said, look here. Where's Elisha? He brought this thing on us. He brought this on us. I want his head today. I want his head off of his body today. I don't want him to wake up in the morning with his head on. Where's he at? And the Bible said there's a man that the king leaned on. In other words, that was one of his servants. He leaned on. He said, go find him. Go find this Elisha. Go find him. One thing I like about Elisha is, when you got confidence in who you are, when you got confidence in who you really are, you don't care what folks say or how they respond. See, that's one thing about it. Cast not away your confidence, for there has a great recompense of reward. Listen. I don't care what people say about me. I got confidence in God. Because the Lord that brought me to this point here. So in other words, that means if He bring me from A to D, He'll take me from D to C. I mean D to F. And from F and on down. So in other words, you have to realize the Bible says the steps of a good man is ordered by the Lord. A lot of times God will order you to do something that people don't like. And then if people don't like, they get mad at you. But what you're doing is doing what God say do, huh? So don't worry about what folks say, because what folks say ain't what it really is. What God say what matters. Elijah, case in point. Now Elijah's sitting back chilling. He's chilling in his house. He's chilling. And he's chilling in his house. Now what happened? Let me show you something. Then the man come to Elijah here at the gate, and Elijah said, look here. Chapter 7, verse. He said, look here. Today, the famine is over today. It's all over today. We're going to eat today. We're going to eat today. We're going to eat today. The famine is over. Because the word of the Lord came to Elisha at that time. He said, we're going to eat today. Y'all, the famine is over. God is going to really allow us to eat some more pork chop, some more fried chicken, collard greens, creasy green, fatback grease if you like it, potato salad. We're going to eat today. Little watermelon cantaloupe, huh? Going to eat some chocolate cake. We're going to eat today. We're going to really eat today. But let me show you what happened. When the man that they leaning onto the king's arm came in there and told him, said, look here. Now, I don't care if the Lord, if you say God gonna open up the windows of heaven, ain't nothing gonna happen. This is what happened. This is what you got to realize. When you hang around folk of unbelief, that's poison. Anytime you hang around people that don't want to go where you want to go, let them go. This is what you do. Cut them loose. Don't be mad at them. Huh? Don't curse them. Just cut them loose. Because if you go with them, what happens is you won't have what they gonna get. Nothing. Can I preach? So what happened was, he said, okay. Now you had to realize at this particular time, after Elijah said that, there were 4 leprous men. Here we go, we're waiting on a miracle now. There are 4 leprous men. Now you had to realize those lepers was outside of the city, they couldn't go in nowhere. Now you have to realize these were leprous men and they hungry. Now can you imagine have leprosy and hungry too? In other words, you got 2 sicknesses on you. Huh? So what happened is they outside of the city, they couldn't go in the city no way. If they had grocery stores all up in line in the city, they couldn't go in. But this is what happened was they began to sit there. They said, well look here bro. Look here. I'm hungry. Now, if we go in the city, we're going to die. And if we stay out here, we're going to die. Now the choice that we got is death. But if maybe we go in the city, maybe they'll feed us before we die. In other words, I don't want to die hungry, but let me die full. But what happened is, when they begin to walk by faith, begin to walk in the city, and I can imagine they had fear in their heart because they realized that, well, I'm going to die anyway. I'm going to grab that chicken leg and run around here some way. I'm going to grab that piece of that pork chop and run around here some way. But when they walked in the city and they began to go into the Syrian camp, they didn't see nobody. And the reason why they didn't see nobody, because the Lord, good God Almighty, the Lord had performed a miracle in that camp. In other words, the Syrians were right there. They were blocking the gate, they were blocking the doors. But God put a sound there. They put a sound there. What happened is they got scared. They thought the king of Israel had hired the Hittite king. They thought the king of Israel had hired the tribe from down there in Egypt. He thought they were going to come and take them. But what they done, the Bible said, they began to leave. And they left everything right there. And they began to run. You know why? Because they were scared. Because God had put an anointing, God had put a miracle right there. And when they walked in, they walked around and they looked at a tent. And they peeked in there. They thought they were scared. And they didn't see nobody in there. And they saw some riches in there. They saw a 3-piece suit in there. They saw some alligator shoes in there. They saw some grocery in there. And they began to take it. Good God Almighty, began to take it. They waited on the miracle, but now the miracle has been there. So what happened is the Bible said this is what they done. They began to take everything they could for about an hour or 2. And this is what they say. They say, hold on a minute. This ain't good what we doing. This ain't good that we doing. This ain't good what we doing. We taking all this stuff and them folks over here hungry. This ain't good. This ain't real good what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm getting fat. And I'm getting home, I'm filling up, and I got clothes, and this is what they did. They took this stuff and they hid it and buried it. But what happened was the Lord touched their heart. They said, this ain't good what we're doing. I can't do this. Let me go tell the king. Let me go tell the king about this. Let me go tell the people about this so they can eat. So what happened, they told them. They told them what had happened. And what happened is, to make a long story short, they came and they began to get all the spoils. But you remember the man that was with the arm of the king? And Elijah told him, said, look here, you might see it. You're going to see all this grocery. You're going to see all this spoil, but you'll never eat it. You'll never get the taste of it. And what he did is, the Bible said when he went to go get it, that the mob trampled him. They walked over it and they killed him. Let me tell you something. When God got a miracle for you, don't disallow it. Don't look at the situation. Look at the miracle. Don't look at how bad it is. Look at the miracle. Don't look at what you don't have. Look what you're going to get. Because if you look at what you don't have, what happens is you begin to get disbelief. But if you look at what you're going to get, allow your faith to rise above your circumstances. Allow your faith to rise with what you believe. Don't allow somebody to speak in your life and never they talk about it ain't of God. What you need to do is you need to walk by faith. The Bible said the just shall live by faith. So in other words, let faith be a lifestyle. Let faith be a word every day. Let faith be your guide. Let faith be your glasses. Let faith be your ears. Let faith be your speech. And when you begin to walk in faith, you start seeing great miracles in your life. You see some things that you never had before. God allowed it to happen. Because the Bible says without faith it's impossible to please God. But he that cometh to God must believe that he is God and he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. That's what happened to the lepers guy. They began to see, they didn't know God. They didn't know God at all, but they still walk by faith. And see, faith works even if you ain't saved. You still walk by faith. And when they walked in there and they seen that tent there, they seen the tent over there, they seen the tent over there, but they didn't see no Syrian. They didn't see no enemy. They begin to go in the inside and begin to take the spoil. That's what you got to do. You got to look into the faith realm. When you start looking to the faith realm, you start seeing like God sees. Because the Lord said, what do you see? I see God giving me faith. I see God giving me favor. I see God giving me wealth. I see God giving me health. I see God giving me everything. Everything that I need. I ain't talking about just a little stuff. I'm talking about a whole lot of stuff. Waiting on your miracle. Let me show you something here. Go to John 5. Thank you, Jesus. You did write in Sept. Now, let me give you two things. It says, when God gives a word to a servant of God, it's up to the person or persons to receive it. It's up to you to receive it. When God gives a word, somebody teaching and preaching to you, and God gives a word to you, it's up to you to receive it. It ain't up to me. It's up to you. It's up to you to receive it. Now let me tell you something. In that, don't look at your circumstances. See, this is what happened. People look at the circumstances and fear sets in and paralyzes. Because they're saying is, I've been poor all my life. You don't have to be poor all your life. The Bible says, blessed are those that poor in spirit. You have to realize, you got to listen, you got to step up to another level. Can I teach you? Yes. Stay with John 5, but I'm just going to use, but here's another bullet. Listen, 2 Kings 7, 3-6. Say God will use people outside of the covenant to bless you because they're in the position. Now let me show you something. Remember I said something about the lepers? They was in a position, listen, they was outside of the covenant, right? But they was in a position to bless you. Because what happened is, everybody else was locked up in the city. They was outside the covenant. So what happened is, when they went in there and seen the spoils, that's why sometimes God will take a sinner to bless you. That's why the Bible says, give and it should be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shall get a run over, shall be given to your bosom. By the same measure you give, shall be measured by you give. So what happened? God will take a sinner to bless you. Because sometimes people in the covenant get jealous in covenants. They don't want, the Lord telling them to do something, they don't want to do it. They got more than I have. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Your faith and your ability to do what God said allow you to get more than you already got. Can I teach y'all? Nothing bulletin. Here we go. John 5, are you there? John 5, are you there? Amen. Now there is, verse 2. Now there in Jerusalem by the sheep market, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 portions. In these lay the great multitude of the important folk, blind, halted, wilted, waiting for the movement of the water. Look what's laying there. There's nobody there that's healed. Nobody there. For an angel went down at a certain season in the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first after the trouble. Now look what it says. Let me show you something. This. There was a man in 38 years. He waited, right? Let me show you something. Listen to this. Fear causes a person to wait too long in order to receive a miracle. He waited 38 years, but let me show you something. The angel will come down every year and trouble the water. See, the miracle is there, but the fear locks folk in. See, now every year for 38 years, now he been like that for 38 years. But what he's saying, I have nobody to put me in. I understand that, but I believe, this is what I believe he had elbows. And then again, somebody had to put him there. Even if he didn't have elbows. But what I'm saying is, let me show you something. If I'm like that, and I know the water, I know the pool is what the healing is, I'm going to tell them, say, put me at the edge of the pool. Right. So when the angel shut the water, all I'm going to do, because I ain't going to drown. But what fear does, it'll cause you to step back and look at everybody else get blessed. So what fear does, the Bible says fear brings torment. In other words, fear paralyzes a person. In other words, let me show you something. It's your perception of how you think. You think, well, it ain't going to happen to me. You're right. Don't nothing happen. And then what happened, we put a spin on it. Well, it wasn't for me. But the trouble of the water was for everybody that was there. The Bible says God does not respect a person. So in other words, healing is for everybody. The Bible says healing is the children's bread. But see, everybody don't want this. And that's their choice. And that's fine. But don't get in my way, because you want to stay where you're at. Because what I do is, I be very polite and say, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. And this what I do is, I keep looking forward. Because if you got the same opportunity I got, and you don't take it, don't get mad at me. Vice versa. If you got the same opportunity I got, and I don't take it, I shouldn't get mad at you. Oh, this is a word. It says, fear causes a person to wait too long in order to receive a miracle. Let me tell you something. Now, what if Jesus had come and asked that man, do you want to be made whole? He's still been waiting. The miracle right there every season. In other words, a miracle in your life every day. What you doing with it? Every day, a miracle's in your life. What are you doing with it? That's what you mean. Every day you wake up, you got a chance. That's right. Every day you wake up, that's a miracle. Every day you wake up and you say, that is a miracle. There's somebody that woke up this morning and didn't wake up on this side of the earth. Somebody might have woke up in hell, somebody might have woke up in heaven. Don't let fear become your best friend. See, some people may fear their best friend. Fear hates me, and I hate it. Can I teach y'all? The last one. Don't let unbelief rob you of your miracle. Remember when Jesus was in his hometown, and the Bible said he could do only a few miracles because of unbelief? Unbelief will rob you of your miracle. Don't let unbelief rob you of your miracle. Because if you listen, unbelief is just a thought. It's really not, it's a spirit, but it really ain't something that is tangible. But unbelief is just the way you think. It'll rob you of your miracle. I'm gonna tell you something. The enemy said that I was sick a while back. And I would come to church and preach, y'all didn't even know it. And I kept saying that I'm healed. Kept saying that I'm healed. My wife knew, I kept saying I'm healed. And sometimes I would come and preach to me and I feel just as bad. God Almighty. Sometimes I had to just take my time. And then when it happened is when I go home, I go to sleep. But I kept saying I'm healed. But my body didn't respond to later. I didn't stop saying that. I didn't say, well, it's going to be like this. No, I kept saying I'm healed. Every time I have a pain, I say, I'm healed in the name of Jesus. Pain will get even worse. I said, I'm healed in the name of Jesus. You know why? Because what I teach, I got to live. Amen. I can't tell you something that I hadn't been through. Amen. And every ache and pain it ain't something wrong. It's just sometimes it's just aging. But what happened is God proved to me that He's a healer. I had hepatitis. God healed me of hepatitis because of shooting dope. God healed me of hepatitis. Don't tell me He won't do it. Now I had hepatitis and didn't even know it till I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me I had it. But God healed me of hepatitis. I had hepatitis for almost 30 years. God didn't let nothing happen to me. Because I was under the blood. Then He healed me. I know what I'm talking about. I got a medical record to prove it. The doctor said, I don't see it. I said, I know you don't see it. It ain't there. There ain't nothing to see. Give the Lord praise.